happened with me, Rod, and Lauren, they showed up to my job.
Yeah.
They showed up to my job, and I ended up losing my job as a direct result of that. So
Yeah,
That's what happens.
So in situations like that, first of all, that's entirely illegal.
Yeah.
But in situations like that, what could I have done differently? Is there anything that I could have done to prevent that?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's bad. I don't think anybody should be losing their job. Maybe we should have a conversation about all the people on the left who specifically have gotten people fired and said things that are false and defamatory about people to get them fired. I can name just about everybody in our group who's gotten fired from jobs. Literally, people will call their employers, say all sorts of false and defamatory things, call them Nazis, call them white supremacists.
I will tell you, I personally, that's never been.
Hey, can we use some of that beer for some shade?
Well, that's good, because
Can we use some of that beer for shade?
yeah, I like it. I think everybody should be free to speak, and if you think someone's speech is bad, you should counter that with good speech, right? You shouldn't try to
Give me
get
an
them
example.
fired. Okay, and this is the biggest thing I would like to get across to the left, is that you don't censor people because you think they're wrong, right? The left doesn't go out. Media, social media, if you look at all the censorship that's occurring against conservative and libertarian voices, against people, not even conservative, RFK got kicked off of Twitter for citing CDC data about COVID, right? They don't censor you because you're wrong. We don't censor flat earthers, right? We want to hear from flat earthers and laugh at them because they're funny.
It's hysterical.
It's hysterical. I have people whose hobbies are going into flat earth Facebook groups and just being like, what about the Coriolis effect, right? and just, it's hilarious. We don't try to censor them because they're wrong and they're laughable. You only censor people when you think they're right and you don't want their message to be heard.
So again, you're giving me you're saying one thing about. I'm asking for an example of. You're saying someone speaking bad. Give me the bad versus good conversation that you're talking.
Well, there's no such thing.
Yeah,
there's no such thing. The essence of free speech is is to allow somebody to say something that even if you think it's inflammatory, where the free speech comes into play is your ability to counter that inflammatory speech. If all you have is saying censoring that person whose speech is inflammatory, and all you have is the other side, you don't have free speech, you just have dogma. So you have to have the side that you hate the most abhorrent thing that you can hear somebody say, so that you have the freedom to come back and say, no, you're wrong, here's the other side. If you negate one side, whether it's your side or his side or my side, then all you have is dogma. That's all you have. You have a certified message that comes from whatever group, from wherever, and that's the official thing that you say, and that's the only thing you're allowed to say.
Right.
Well,
What I was saying
can I
was
give you an example?
You were saying, if there's bad speech,
Yeah.
you need to be countering it with good speech. And that's what I was asking
Okay,
for an example.
let me give you an example, right? So, Richard Spencer, right? This is a guy who's gotten, censored, and they won't let any of his speeches happen. And there was one where they actually, rather than censoring him, somebody actually got up and had an intelligent question to ask him. And they asked him, well, would you rather have Thomas Sowell or Hillary Clinton as your neighbor? And he just did not know how to answer that, right? Because Thomas Sowell, who is a black man, who is a brilliant philosopher and economist, and somebody who I would love to have as my neighbor, right? Or somebody who is ideologically opposed to me but happens to have the same skin color. Why would I want that? I mean, other than the chance that I might get suicided, besides that, I don't want to be within a million miles of Hillary. right?
Call it
And so
Arkanside.
this is kind of that good speech to say, hey, it's kind of stupid to identify based upon skin color. I'm a person who identifies based upon ideology, right? So I would love to have Thomas Sowell as my neighbor. That would be like my dream. You know what I mean? I'd have him come over for coffee every now and then. So that's a good example of countering bad speech with good speech.
Okay.